All right. All right. Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome here to another session, another live stream, another broadcast here to the one and only Chaos Rain. I am Chaos Rain, as y'all formerly know. Welcome. Before I begin, let us do the little mic check. First, mic check 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? I think I can see y'all. I think you guys can hear me. Good. Let me give you the rundown of the links to follow me, and links to follow me are below. But 1 second, guys. The links to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Reign 7. You can also add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Ring on Facebook. Let me check. Okay. And also, you can also follow me on my Rumble page as well, CRain23 on Rumble. And what else? Oh, and please join my Discord service as well. Discord is in the description of every video. So if you don't know where it is, you know where to find Discord. That's in the description. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Reign Show as well. Sorry guys, I just got the little sniffles. I don't know why, but it'll go away. And as you know, I did post something in the chat room. If you're watching, you can just leave a comment. I'm trying to see some here. I'm just doing some testing. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. But other than that, just leave a comment as the stream goes on. I just want to see if the chat room is functional for some reason. And I know I see people pop in, pop out watching, and I'm not sure if they're watching or whatever case. Something's really odd. So to really clear this up, if you're watching, I mean, a good type in the chat room will let me know that you're there. If anything else, if you could do that, I'll appreciate it more. If you like the video, that'll go even further. But like I said, comment in the chat room because I want to see some, do some testing as I'm going along with this content. All right. Is that everything? Did I forget anything? No, I don't think I forgot anything. So it looks like I'm ready to go. And it looks like let me clear the studio up a little bit. I want to give some room here. Perfect. All right, y'all know what I came here for, and I have to talk about this. This has been an ongoing discussion now for some time now, for almost days now. And y'all know my stance when it comes to content on YouTube. And I'm going to reiterate this again. Now, I think repetition is king. And as I do this, let me share the video. Not really the video, but let me share this instead. Because this is the subject we are going to be talking about, as you can see from the thumbnail. A lot of people today, as you know it, and Mike TV is here, and he's been doing that for a few years now, and he has gotten a knack of the content creation. A lot of people, men or women, whatever age, they don't know how to do or create content on any platform, especially YouTube. And the problem with this, and yes, it's going to get boring, but follow me, is that a lot of people today are doing, God knows, everything, every little thing, just to get a viral moment. And we all know how social media works. When you go viral, you really are doing something. I agree, but I also disagree with that as well. And here's why. Because not every person that goes viral today knows what the hell they're doing, much less know if they are actually a content creator or if they're doing anything of any nature in regards to content. And I say this with clear convictions that most people, when they come out here and do this stuff, they're doing this just to hopefully get attention. And after they get the attention, now what? What's the next move? What's the next step? That's where the line is drawn. And in my opinion, the only thing that's drawn right now is the inconsistency of what outcomes you're looking for. Be honest with you, a lot of content creators today, they do this one day, they might get good at for a month or 2 or 3, and the next minute, they fall out, and then they don't know what to do, and they figure, what's the next step? And to me, I find that to be, lazy. And here's why. You're lazy because you did not grow your platform in natural and good faith. You're doing this just to find some experiment and find some that works. And if it doesn't work, you go on to the next thing that will get you a better result. Now, that will work in the short term, but in the long run, it is not really effective. So I would say this, just to hone into what I'm trying to get at for y'all to understand, that these viral moments you see here, for any reason, you gotta be very cautious and question everything that a person has been doing. And I would tell most people to really check the history of a lot of content creators. But what I'm noticing now, and the lady right here, I think her name's Isis Morales, the one on here. This is sure, evidence. This is a telling tale that any person, if you're a woman and you talk about men, you might have a better success going viral than a man talking about two ladies. I mean, real talk. Now, a lot of people question me and fight me and argue me, say that's not true. Men go live, go put videos all the time and go viral when they go against women. I would say bullshit. I'll call bullshit. And here's why. Because if that was the case, the amount of videos these dudes show it and put out on a lot of you ladies doing ratchet, ill-gotten, perverted activities on the internet is frightening. And trust me, they don't need to be on YouTube to have a viral moment. They could be on other social media platforms like Facebook, IG, hell, even TikTok. And TikTok is going out the door. And I did tell a young lad, a young fella, that if you're not having different social media avenues, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because TikTok was, I would say, the only freer platform that you could put out any information out there and it can't be questioned because it's not run by the West, i.e. the United States. So United States already put a clamps on TikTok. So it's gonna probably be out here in the next month and a half. So if you're not what they call delineating and migrating your platforms or what you're doing, your videos up into other platforms, you're gonna have to start over. And it comes to notion of today's topic. Is the trophy wife telling the truth or scamming? Now, I said this before and I'll say this again. That never waste a good viral moment. But make sure the viral moment is sincere, is truthful, and it really is something that people can sit to reflect on and say, okay, I don't want to be a victim of this. Now, before I go and play the video that she has up there now on YouTube, and for people who don't know, you could tell when there's a scam, when there's a big scam, is when, let's be honest, let's be fair honest, when you take down all your videos, or you could go on any platform where the video stands and you only see one video with a whole lot of views, but everything else don't exist. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a red flag. And not just any red flag, it's a big red flag. So we're gonna watch this chick. We're gonna look at this video that was taken down. And we could also say that maybe this is a plot to rebrand and create a new type of content that is going to garnish more eyeballs, more attention, i.e., you know, like I said, gathering more money or financial gain. And that's how most of them do it. For those that don't know. All right. All right. I'm trying to find something here. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to look at some right now. All right. All right. And one guy wrote here, and I think the man wrote this. Let me see what he wrote in my comment section in the chat room. He says the truth is already out. It was her own son who did it, and she's trying to blame her ex. Now, it's funny, cause I've not really found these other videos, and I be honest with y'all, I'm not gonna do that, and here's why. Because anytime I find any person with a sob story, when it involves young or mid-adolescent children, that something has happened to them in a very much sexual manner, in regards to what we call touching of innocence, that's not a thing you play around with. You take that very, very, very serious. Where it's going to have to involve law enforcement. And when law enforcement is involved, someone has to go to jail. Last time I checked. And that person that has to go to jail is going to be the perpetrator. 9/10 out of time. That's how it goes. But if you don't find that, that's a problem. All we go by is someone's words, but nothing more. That to me is not acceptable. And you know my claims. Matter of fact, you know me, if I say this and I state this constantly in every little video, live stream, or upload, if you go back to my channel, that anytime when you as a woman and something happened to you in a manner that you were assaulted and you've been touched in a sexual manner without permission, right? It is your self-rightful duty. I don't care if you're a teenager or a full-fledged adult. And if your parents don't teach you this, which I find it even more bizarre and a red flag. And let's be honest. Let's be clear here. We have parents. I'm not sure my parents taught me and my siblings this, right? Right? That anybody touch you, you let them know, right? And I'm not sure I'm the only kid that is now adult that was taught to my own parents. I think every parent, last my check, teach their sons and daughters of this. If anything happens to them or someone touch them, they just let them know, regardless of how they feel. Now, I could be wrong, and I could be wrong that this is not some of a foreign concept. Every parent instilled this to their children, especially in America. Now, if they do not do this, then to me, I find it that you not care about your children much as you don't really look at the safety and better precautions of how your children is going to be operating outside the world. I say this, that you as a woman, it is your rightful duty, if you're a teenager or a full-fledged adult, that if you were taken, insulted, etc., you must do one or two things, right? You go to the hospital immediately. You have them examined, do what's necessary. Have a full clinical synopsis and report. And on doing that, I think with the hospital, they will inform the police. I think that's how it goes. And if that doesn't really work out, then obviously you have a claim you can present to the police department. Now, this is going to go over a lot of you ladies' heads, but I want y'all to follow me here, because something like this is very traumatic, and you got to stay mentally stable and calm if you come out of this alive, which 9/10 time you will, because most of these sickos, rather as a man doing sexual touching or a woman engaged in sexual touching, because yes, women are predators too, and they will do it too. You must take action immediately. Immediately. Not tomorrow, week, 2 weeks, a month from now, you move as fast as possible as you could get up and recover, wipe your tears or whatever. It is your right, your God-given right, to take action. All right? If not, your compliance will continue the injustice and the other unaligned, no, not unaligned, the other sexual touching of other young men or women out there in the world if you do not take action. Period. All right. So, and what's good, Aaron Collins? I see y'all. So let's go into this video. I'm not gonna ramble too on. Let's look at this and look at this so-called evidence and question the authenticity of Mrs. Morales. And I will do this. I haven't done this in my Bible. Oh, and please, guys, if you can, support the channel. If you can, anything will go into, because this has been discussed, and now I have to give a real honest take on this. All right, let's go. Fair use, fair use.
The new trophy wife. Today, I'm going to be sharing my story with you guys about how I went from being a single mom to a spoiled housewife in less than 1 year.
Now, as you can tell, they said that this is the picture of her husband, but I do not see no videos. And I want y'all to pay attention clear. And you will never find this, because maybe in other social media she might show that, she might not. I can't tell you now because she has scrubbed out all that. And I mean scrub it. She did a thorough cleansing. But I'm telling you, men and ladies, especially ladies, once you upload or put something on the goddamn internet, it stays there permanently. Don't be fooled that because you remove it, it's gone. No, it is saved under a server, a cloud. They say, Chaos, you mean a cloud? Yes, yes. Do y'all read the terms and service of using somebody else's house? That anytime you put any content or any intellectual property, it is actually considered theirs? Your data today, because they had to give you disclosures of should they use your data or not. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled. Once you press live, once you press upload onto anybody's platform, it is theirs. And now it is theirs. They put it lock and key and tuck it somewhere. There's rumors that they'll tell you that they'll delete it after a couple months, but don't believe that. Do not believe that in a heartbeat. Anytime you are using their stuff, they're keeping all videos, all data, all this information. So in the future, they could use it for whatever means, or even go as far as make money off it, which most people, if you're not monetized, that most of these social media platforms, including YouTube, are making some form of money one way or the other without you knowing, because you're using their platform. So you might be able to fool the regular consumer or person that will come across your content, but in the people that run stuff, they got all the information. They keep it lock, nip, and tight, sealed, and throw away the key. So if you have not learned anything, I'm constantly going to keep repeat myself over and over and over again. Nothing is gone on the internet. It is forever now. Because the world operates now in a digital form. They don't operate on physicality, papers, forms, etc. No, they operate in the digital realm. Don't you forget about that. So let's go. Fair use, fair use.
And you can too. So, I had my first child when I was 17 years old. I intentionally got pregnant with my boyfriend at the time and basically turned into a child raising a child.
Well, I would agree, but also had to disagree. Because you guys got to understand, in the last 60, even 70 more years, if you think about the average age of people that got knocked up and probably got married, was roughly around 17 to 18 years of age around the last maybe 50 or 60 years. And before that, before the 50s and under, around early 20th century and late 1800s, most people are that will start families, have kids stuff, were mostly in their teenagers, roughly 14 and 15 years old. And maybe 16. You don't believe me? Do quick research. Look at the average age of first time parents, first time mothers, and you'd be astonished. Now, does it make it right? I can't say that because back then, before we had in the industrial revolution has reached an apex. Most people have families and had kids, not one but multiple kids, to accomplish meaningful task. For those that don't know, but as decades pass by after the 60s, going on 70s and 80s, it's still trending around 17, 18 years old, and maybe teenagers to a point. But it really started to go on flatline in the mid to late 2000s. All right. So let's play this. So, at times you think you're a kid raised kid. No, that is normal. It's way of life. Most people now outside America in very small parts of small parts in America, you'll still see some teenage moms, but it's not as vast or large like it was in the past 30 or 40 years. All right, let's keep going. Fairies.
I, a few years later, had my second child. So after having two children and being a single mom, I think that my self-esteem was definitely low. I didn't know that at the time, but if I think back about the kind of men that I was choosing, it definitely was a reflection of my lower self-esteem. I think that growing up, I was not taught the kind of men that
And
I
let
should
me see
choose.
how it sounds to my end because it sounds pretty low. So I'm gonna let it keep playing. All right, Fairies.
Looking to attract and be in a relationship with. My mom drilled into me, oh, go with the man that's going to be the best breeder. And I think society drilled into me to go after the thug, the street dude, the swag type dude, or whatever you want to call it. But neither one of those was the best approach to going about
All
dating
right, so it looks like the volume is good on it.
a husband.
All right, the volume's good. I just gotta double check. All right, so probably it's my end, but we'll work through it. Let's keep going. Fairies.
So after having my second child, I
So she had her first child at 17, and let's say she had her other child. Let's say maybe around close to 20 or maybe mid 20s, roughly. And I'm just guessing because they said she has roughly either 4 or 5 children, and it seems she has children by multiple baby daddies. Common for most women. And for those people that don't know, because her last name is Morales, we're not sure if that's the main name she took under her husband or that's her actual name. I cannot assume. But I would take it this woman is Latin American woman. She could be also derived as mixed because a lot of gentlemen like her content. And I think the reason why I like her content is not what she's really saying because she's not really saying nothing. And I have not watched all her videos because, let's be honest, she took them down before I could sit there and really examine what her content is. But from the premise, overall, just to give an honest assessment, she's not saying nothing really relevant and new. It's like saping talking points from other, let's say, certain female content creators, like the ones that like to promote level ups and get in the bag and what they call also doing what you have to do to become I guess a housewife. And the only woman that actually has classes and teaches this and does it professionally is Nicole Michelle. Every other woman besides her, they're not really real femininity platforms. And it's sad for me to tell y'all that, but and not because I watch Nicole. I've talked to her. I might know her from other contents in the past, but she has actually shown work. She has some of that structure lined out, and it's key real because she does it on a Christian basis, which a lot of black people say because majorities we are Christians because America is a Christian nation. We kind of shy away from that. So obviously, a lot of that's doing that is like more of a transactional thing and try and get some and do nothing in return. Matter of fact, to do less, to be honest. But let's keep going. Let's hear a story.
Was working hard. I was making really good money. I think I was making about maybe 90K at the time, which for me as a 24-year-old woman was good. I thought I was doing good. I had my own place, I owned my car. I was very self-sufficient, all about the mindset of, oh, I can do it by myself. I don't need a man, as so many of us modern women say, I can do it all by myself. And I soon realized after one Christmas of it.
Now, one thing she did say that she was making 90K a year, right? At age 24. My question to all that is, what are you doing? What work you do to make 90, almost close to 100K a year? Besides the taxes, because everybody gets tax taken out if you make a certain amount anyway. But what were you doing at age almost or nearly 25 years of age to make all that money? Now, right here, there's a red flag in it in itself because if you're making that much money, we all know you're not making things money in regards to professional matter, especially if you attend a four-year university. Even if you're hustling, no ways you're going to accumulate that amount of money unless you have your own business and is making money like real hand on fist overly six figures, and you carry on maybe that 94 annually. Because I question how you making this money. Now, a lot of people say, why does it matter? It does matter because if you're able to garnish this at age 24 at a certain time, most people that's under 30, hell, much under 27, are not making that much money like that. Even certain tech jobs, they might give you that amount possibly, but she's not establishing what she does. She just tells you, I'm making that amount of money, I have my own place, that's it. There's some holes into that. And I think she's aware of that. Anyhow, now a lot of people say, could she be selling herself or body? Possibly. But like I said, for a person to make that much more money, you always gotta have your antennas up. All right, let's keep going. Fairies.
Just being me and my two boys, that I wanted a family. I wanted more for myself. It felt so lonely and it was sad. It was really sad. And it was, I'd say, one of the lowest points in my life. And I realized that I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to raise these boys on my own. I want a family. I want someone that I can love, someone that loves me and my children. And after that was when I decided that I was going to change the kind of men I was dating and what I was attracting. One of my sisters at the time had told me that I should.
Okay. So for more context, she was baby mama. She was never married, and she has few kids, and it looks like she's going through some struggle. Regardless, she said she was making this out of money, and she view and see herself more than just baby mama, and she feels that this is not the life she want to live. So, in case she wants to do something different and change that, right? Now, I've been hearing from a lot of dudes that these ladies know what they're doing. They always use the excuse that they're you, I'm not too fond of the excuses when it comes to young adults now, especially when you start having kids. When you have kids, your life is never going to be the same. Hell, you hear from other women content creators that have some sense and are going to keep real with you ladies that your life pretty much is really over in the sense that you cannot go back to living yourself in a way where you could do young people things, go out, party every day, do extra activities, be more freer, do things like, constantly traveling out the world, which a lot of women nowadays are traveling out, some without kids, some with kids. And you can't do all that when you have kids, especially have babies, young children. They need as much time as possible. So now, if you and your babe father are not having a good relationship, where both of y'all work together and try to create a comfortable foundation for your children, you're out here playing games, like literally playing games. And it seemed to me that like most Western women, she's the one that likes to play little games, or a lot of games, especially the dudes that she picks or selects. But let's hear more into her story. Fair use, fair use.
Create an online profile, and I was so against doing that because I was like, well, online profiles are only for people that are desperate, and I look good. I'm not desperate. I don't need to, I can find a man just going out. And um I was against it at first. And I think I also had a skewed version of what a high value man was at the time as well. I thought that a good mate, or the man to go after, was the one with the super nice car and a stack of money and the jewels and the chains on with the swag. Like, I thought that was the man that I should be going after, but that was definitely not the type of man that I should have been going after. And I learned quickly that just because someone looks like they have it together does not mean that they have it together. And typically, the things that that person is probably doing to get money is not sustainable, and probably not something that you would want to be involved in. And after learning quickly that everything that glitters is not gold, I happened to come across Shira7 on YouTube, and she completely changed my life. And she basically.
Okay. So to rewind now, before she talked about the other content creator that she does her own thing. The dating sites, the dating apps, right? eHarmony is a dating site. And matter of fact, since we're doing that, let me look up eHarmony right now. Let me go through my artificial intelligence, then I'm gonna Google it. What is Oh damn. All right. Yeah. Oh, I spell it. All right. Yes, this is the one. All right. It says here eHarmony is a well-known online dating service that uses the capability matching system to help people find a long-term relationship. It was founded in 2000 and has since helped millions of people find love. The platform used detailed personality profiles and specific research to match users based on compatibility. Yes. Let me see. Let me go into more detail on this. Profile creation, capability matching, communication process, matching suggestions, privacy, safety. It does protect your safety than some other social media sites, or alleged dating sites like Tag doesn't really do that. They now just let everybody say they don't conduct on backgrounds, but eHarmony looks like more of a so-called professional type one. that deals with more and it says it starts by creating profiles, complete a comprehensive questionnaire designed to understand their personality, preference, values, and lifestyle. This detailed profile helps eHarmony algorithm to find compatible matches. And going further in, all right. So it's more of a that you put what you are, be transparent, and in return, they'll put you with a suitable match. That's how it works. Like, and most artificial intelligence algorithms work like that. With a lot of these dating sites, you create a picture, tell what your hobbies are, your age. You know, I don't think they want your height and your actual name, and maybe zodiac. I don't know, some of them deal with zodiac, but at the end of the day, it gives a more just small detail, a little bit about yourself, and then the artificial intelligence does the rest to match you with someone that is similar in thought or similar of what they call hobbies, talents, or etc. Depending on what you put down. So for those that don't know, the more you're detailed, ladies, on these so-called dating sites like eHarmony, Bumble, and all that stuff, the more the AI is gonna match you with the so-called potential match. So it's like a crap shot as a hit and miss with these type of dating sites. And I'm not sure what's the review of eHarmony, but that's where she said she found her husband from. Even to the point, if you think about it, she's not like most people are not really so keen on these dating sites. And I look at dating sites today as just another avenue for more access for intercourse. Personally, I mean, I don't see anything of substance that you're gonna find an actual mate on these sites. Now, some people will say that they have found their mates on these dating sites, but you know, it's gonna come to a point like most people that does this, or you know, understand content strategies, or generally understand how the dynamics of the nature of men and women. We're going to have to go back old school, and we're going to have to meet each other like back in the old days and have conversations in person or in general. And the reason why a lot of people say are afraid of the close interactions is because of one thing. And you know what I'm about to say, the one thing and one thing only: rejection. Most men do fear rejection still, ladies. Yes. Just like you fear rejection if a dude that you are attracted to denies you or say or just don't want nothing new with you if they want to be honest. And I understand the fear. It is a natural fear because as humans, you're going to be fearing things of what is or the unknown. You must get out of your fear, your comfort level. You must embrace, and I mean this in full sentence. You must embrace rejection. Do not run for it. Don't be scared of it. Embrace it. It is common. It is normal in human nature that rejection of people reject you is normal. And I think most of us don't learn this, or no one's going to tell us this. They always want us to always succeed. Don't expect failure. You must always get a yes, no, no. Human beings are human beings. People got experience. People know what they want, and people do have to say so if they want it or not. And if they gonna have to say no and reject you, they're doing either two things: you a favor or a disservice. One or the other. So you pick your poison. All right, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use. Oh, and I forgot. She mentioned Shira 7. I'm gonna hear more about this. Fair use, fair use.
Basically taught me what a high value man is and what to look for when trying to find a husband. So I ended up taking my sister's advice and signing up for eHarmony. Yeah, she recommended Match, but in my spirit, I felt eHarmony. I don't know why. It just something told me to do that one. So I ended up signing up for eHarmony. I created a profile, and I think the second person that I matched with was the man that I'm married to now, my husband, my wife. And it was very different. My husband and I have a 20-year age gap, and he was not the first older man that I dated. I actually dated someone like 10 years older than me, and that was just a bust. A lot of people have told me that I'm very mature for my age, so someone 10 years older than me just wasn't a big enough age gap for me to vibe with. It just wasn't, yeah. And so when I met my husband, I knew right away almost. And people say that, but it was definitely true. I know it sounds cliche. Just from our first date, it just felt natural. I felt like I just had known this person already. It was so comfortable. So we went to a really nice seafood restaurant, and it was great. It was an amazing first date. And mind you, I think we both were kind of just dating different people at the time. And that's definitely something that I recommend if you're looking to, find a husband, is not just dating one person at a time. It's not good to put all your eggs in one basket, but we had a great first date, and I think he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend on the first date, and I.
All right. Oh, and for those that's watching, please like the stream, please. If you're watching now or you're watching, let me know. Just hit some in the chat room. You could hit like if you choose to, but it's better if you're there watching. Throw some in the chat room right now. Type some up. I'm doing something to see what's going on in the chat room, if possible. That would go a long way. I would appreciate that. And if you, oh yeah, and please, guys, support the channel. You know what it is.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny, bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
Support the channel. Either Cash App or Super Chat. Either or will go a long way. I'll sure appreciate it. And what's good, Angela? So, She-Ra 7. She mentioned She-Ra 7. And what I've heard, and I heard some floating around here lately, that they said that some women in the comment section, whether on this lady's video or in general, said that they're pointing the fingers and the blame of Kevin Samuels of this situation that this woman, Miss Isis, is going under right now. And I'm thinking, wait, hold on, bitch. Wait, what? She was influenced by a female content creator. Where is it that Kevin Samuels is in the mix with this? Is my question. And last time I checked, most of her videos, she don't. If she mentioned Kevin, she never said mention Kevin. Said it was Kevin that gave me the idea to go find an older man to level up to rest my feminine. You don't see that. You will never find that. Don't be fooled because all her video and content been taken out. She never even once time referenced Kevin in that manner. But she sure hell got influence and referenced the person that got her in the idea, the mindset, and the direction of where she wants to take her life at, and that is by a female content creator by Miss She-Ra 7. And let's be honest, She-Ra 7, if y'all think about it, she's very entertaining. That's why a lot of women watch her content. Nothing's wrong with that. Being laughing and joking goes a long effing way. But when you hear the rhetoric that comes out of my mouth, it is a bag of horse shit. Did you know that Miss Shia 7 was a side piece to her now husband? That at times you think that if you ladies watch her content carefully, you think she's in control. She is not. The man that she's dealing with is probably maybe 15-year difference from her. And we could say even more, 20-year difference. The man she deal with is a boomer, an old school boomer that don't play with that, don't have time for that nonsense. And for those that's watching now, I see some people watching. Please leave a comment now in the chat room. Let me know if you're present. I'm doing tests on my chat room. Just type something in the chat room. I would surely appreciate it. If you do that, I appreciate it. Just write anything. Doesn't matter. Just want to do a test. Her husband checks her on a previous occasion on certain videos. If you pay attention. But she pushed this bullshit. Someone say, you know, you control man, you can manipulate man on stuff. She's not even manipulating the man she's married to right now, Miss 7. But these ladies tell on themselves, ladies, that only works for low level. It works well with men that don't have no esteem or any backbone in their back. And you can tell they're dealing with certain black men on that regards. If they're able to manipulate a man like that, or any man, but let's say, for sake of we're talking about black people, black men. That might work for certain older gentlemen, but it will not work for every man. Especially man that, let's say, he has more than options, but he moves differently, he thinks differently, ain't not letting no woman control him like that. But she influenced impressionable younger females to gravitate to her message, her content. How you doing, Kai? What's good? Let me say hi. What's good? How you doing? She has that power to do that. When impression, and let's be honest. And I'm not sure if I covered this on my channel. I'll double check if I had this. I might have to upload again. The effects of social media on women, especially on black women. There's frightening results and information of the real effects of social media when it has towards black women. And I'm telling you, ladies, when I read it, it was frightening. It's really frightening. And I don't mean in a good way. I mean in a very negative, bad way. It is very much frightening. Because I didn't know it had that much power. That women, especially women, black women, it had that much power and influence on a lot of black women. Social media. And I'm not saying a little social media has very little influence or great influence. And during social media, as we know it, has the biggest influence on how women think and move. It affects more black women than any other demographic across the racial spectrum. So imagine if you're a woman content creator and you have a platform. And let's say you're promoting and trying to teach women that are like, let's say in their 20s or late teens, on how to plot, antagonize, manipulate boys or even feeble, naive men. That's a very strong, and I mean strong, influencer. But that's what we have out here now. And a lot of women pay attention more to social media and get influenced by what is they see and do. That's why, if you think about it, when TV started to go out the door in the last decade, and I would say the last 15 years, to be honest with you, the digital realm, we call it the social media and other forms of internet, have taken a more grass influence than the television could ever do. And how I can prove, because now you have the power of that in the palm of your hand in regards to a smartphone. What you see on there, you're getting heavily influenced and bombarded with and really miss in actual information if not careful. So let's keep going. And make sure you guys support the channel. All right, fairies.
Said I would think about it. I know that the universe guru talks about how you shouldn't fall into the girlfriend trap, and it was kind of something that I just intuitively knew, like, I'm not just gonna agree to be your girlfriend just after meeting you, because I know that it's you just want me to be your girlfriend so that you can get in my pants. So I didn't agree, and we both were, we were talking, but then for some reason we kind of stopped talking for a little while, and we both were dating other people and doing our own thing, and then I had gotten into a serious relationship with somebody, and I ended up falling for the girlfriend trap. But that guy had really been investing a lot into me and doing a lot for me, so I kind of felt like I had to agree to be his girlfriend because he asked me multiple times, and I finally agreed. So after me and him broke up, well, let me rewind. So me and him ended up breaking up because he just didn't really vibe with my oldest son, who was 5 at the time. I could tell that he was really just putting up with my kids. He didn't really embrace them. Sometimes, we as mothers can tell, like, someone's just being nice to our kids for the purpose of being with you, and they're not necessarily invested in your kids themselves. And that's what I felt like from him. So it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a family, the kind of family that I was wanting. So I ended up breaking up with him, and we were living together. I know, we were living together, and I just like packed all my stuff and left. And it was crazy because
All right. Now, let me see what's going on. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm multitasking because the volume's so low on this end. She said something about her son. But before I go about her son, because a man posted in it that it might be the reason why she's doing this, and I think it's very much not an excuse. But she mentioned about the age gap, and the oldest she has dealt with was a 20-year age gap. But second to oldest, she dealt with a man that was 10 years older. So if I do the math occasionally, most dudes that she dealt with were at least 5 to roughly maybe over 10 to 20-year difference. And that's fine to a degree. And I said to a degree now. That a lot of people complain about this age gap thing. And I'm being blunt, honestly, y'all. I think I call bullshit, bro. Because my thing is this. We're not at a point now as society, as people now, personally, that you're going to see women, young women, going to deal with men roughly now at the same age range, unfortunately, right? And I heard stories, at times from the dudes saying that a lot of girls back in high school were dealing with dudes that were like 6, 7, and 10 years difference in them, right? And the reason why these young teenagers, females, are gravitate to a lot of these dudes that were older is because they were given what they call trinkets to them, so they can get access to their bodies. Let's be honest. No man that is, if you're in high school and this dude is out of high school that could be a decade and maybe a little bit more older than you, wants to just give you something for nothing. But this only works when you have no actual structure within the household in regards to someone's guiding you and telling you the do's and do nots and guide you why, explain why, not teach you a goddamn thing. When I hear these stories, I could tell there's already brokenness in the goddamn household. Period. 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 How I know? Because at one point when people were stable and they have some form of intact, occasionally there's teaching and stealing of what the do's and do nots. Now, mind you, your children are going to still disobey and go outside that. But then again, you have more control and say into that. And you give what we call punishment if you stay out or go outside this order. Period. So if you find, and let's be honest, if these stories do exist back then, even I'm not sure how it is now, this is a result that young girls are getting misguided by one, their mothers mostly, and two, if their fathers, if they're not involved in regards to teaching anything to their daughters and instilling actual things what you expect for them to sit there, entertain someone. And let's be honest, if you're a teenager and some dude that you don't know that has a car and is giving you something and you're taking it, right there's a red flag in itself. But then again, you have to teach these youngsters something. And it's going to go back to a point now in the modern era we're in now. We got to start teaching the youth, the boys, and especially the girls. Because we don't do that, they're going to be out here food for the wolves in these streets without your supervision. Like I said, age gapping, regardless is natural or not, regardless of somebody that wants my provider, all that's garbage. No, age gapping now today, as it was more than ever, is now a norm in the last couple decades. Period. Back then, if you go back 50 and the under, you don't hear enough about no person age gapping that was more than 5 or 6 years old on the average. You find it now because it's been trending now, because let's be clear, a lot of households have been broken. If you ask a father right now, you think a father right now, as it states, wants his daughter to deal with someone that could be over 6 or more years older than her, much as 10. That is actually an adult and she's a teenager. Absolutely not. You will not find that. But today you find it now. It's common out in our society. That's why I said I can't say it's right or wrong. It's because this is where the society has been going, and this is where it's going to remain now. Now, if there was order again, that could be changed. Because usually if you're a woman and let's say you've been groomed or raised proper, you would try to come in this thing or the relationship as intact as possible. That means you don't lose your virginity, if possible. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's going to be tricky. There's some people that still virgins. Maybe so. But usually you have to really keep at that. You have to put some parameters in place. You have to build an actual trusted bond with your children. And God forsake if they get touched by anybody in the family, which it is unfortunately common. But like I said, if you know the traps, you can avoid them and protect your children and yourself at all costs. But we go around here as people, young adults especially, or around family members that are sick or they got into this perverse sexual nature of things, and we're not keeping a knit tight and keeping that under control. Now, you know how people deal with sexual touching. There is consequence to that. But unfortunately, in America, they're not going to steal the consequence, is because the society, unfortunately, is slowly pushing it. Only thing you could do as an adult with kids or about to have kids, you must understand the environment, study it as a whole, and know where the spots or the pitfalls that could potentially harm you and your children. That's all you could do moving forward. Other than that, you out here sitting duck out here and you're blind out in these streets within your family and outside your family. Hope that didn't go over y'all guys' head. Make sure you guys like the stream. I'm just dropping some intake, honest opinions, honest solutions on this, because there's a lot. Let me tell you something. With me, if you get far to the stream, I'm not going to tell you something that you just don't want to either here or here. I'm going to give you a sensible solution and an honest, real opinion of where you stand in this environment. We already know where it's going. It is your responsibility to protect yourself, and I'm beyond physical protection. You got to understand the nature of the environment and people, how people are operating now more than ever. And what you could do to better prepare your children that's going to come here and yourself so you don't get got in here. Too many people get got in here. And that could have been avoided. But because they want to go in this thing blind, you cause disservice on yourself and your future offsprings. And this could have been avoided. Anyway, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
So the next day, my husband, my now husband, reached out to me and was like, hey, how are you doing? And I told him, you know, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why. And he was telling me like, oh, you know, those are my boys. And he had genuinely really connected with my kids, and he was not the kind of man that was just be nice to them to get to me. Like, it was very genuine. And that was one of the things that I really loved about him. That was something that stood out about him versus the other men that I had dated, was he really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. And so, you know, he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit, but I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending, and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and maybe even if it's just like for a couple weeks, you know, it's okay. Just while I look for, you know, somewhere else, because I hadn't planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend. And I was like, well, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like, immediately. And I, you know, didn't want to get my hopes up. So I just said that, you know, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action that he takes. And so I had just got paid, and I was like, okay, we seems like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This is all talk over the phone, over FaceTime. So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring like the one he has now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime,
Now, the one thing interesting about this, all right. The one thing interesting about this is she's talking about getting a wedding ring, right? And the thing that comes to my mind is, sweetie, are you getting the wedding ring or he's getting the wedding ring? Because it seemed to me that you're more eager to get married than him. He just telling you and laying out the rules, say, for you to be around me or stay where I live at, we need to be an actual husband, wife. And you were ecstatic. So you went out your way to, you know, oblige by, you know, let's get this ring. Either you get the ring or he get the ring. It looks like, I don't know if you got the ring. You carry on to really make it happen. And I'm not sure if she said it yet on this video. She might have. Come listen in two different on our device. She said out of her mouth that they've been only been together over a week. And it moves that fast from 1 week to now becoming, all right, we're going to be husband and wife in a short period of time. Now, I hear the notion that people say that, a man, depending where he is in life, financially, spiritually, etc., does not make a decision when he wants to get married. Well, actually, he does make a decision. And the decision, on the average, he makes a decision in 6 months. Now, I have a problem with that, roughly, regardless of where you are economically, spiritually, and stuff. If it takes you that short period of time to put a ring on a woman, especially here in the West, you're doing yourself a disservice, fella, buddy. You should try to be put in this thing you or her in this relationship. If this is a real strong relationship, this should be tested a little bit. And let's be honest, you don't know a person's real intentions, actions in 6 months. You need to give much time. I'm a proponent, and this is a thing for you ladies, since you like these long-term relationships, regardless where you are in life or what age. The limit you should give this, and I'm going to be fair here. It should, if you're in a relationship with a person, this you, him are official, for the next stage to be what we call husband, wife, the longest you should be waiting to become a married couple with him and you is no greater than 2 years. And how 2 years is, I will break it down for y'all. The first month, 6 months, or maybe 2-3 months. And I say 2-3 months because y'all gonna be know each other. Maybe he'll spend money on you, you'll spend money on him. Hopefully it's a harmonious type of bond. You're gonna get to really feel each other. Now, does sex have to be involved in a short period of time? That's gonna be on, that depends on the type of vibe you're getting off with him or he getting off with you. And usually, you all know, ladies, men, we want sex. Usually anything we do, we're hoping to get at it at a very quick as possible, roughly. But normally, if depending on how the bond is, a man probably might wait a week, maybe a few days, depending on where he is, how he's feeling. But roughly, sex is always on the table eventually. And not saying you should give it up early, easy, but you gotta have a certain attraction of why you're dealing with the dude first. Because first of all, if you're not attracted to dude, there doesn't have to be no sex involved. Much as you should not be taking anything from a man if you're not really liking them. I know most women do that because it's better to get some off the man and don't have to do nothing. No, you gotta stop thinking like that. Today's gentleman today, or today's man, regardless of his racial background, is not gonna be playing the games. You see a lot of these dudes that's been paying attention to a lot of podcasting and a lot of social media about the games you ladies play and seeing in full screen. They're not going to be victimized. Hell, some of them now are not even going to spend money on dates because you ladies have shown your hand that you will waste a man's time. So to avoid that, you're going to have to, be cool and make the experience nice with the dude, so he doesn't really feel he's getting cheated on, with his little wallet. But other than that, first few months, you get you and him are just bonding, and then eventually, hopefully by close to a year, y'all might be crashing with each other's place. If you have a place for yourself, you move in with him, or you guys establish a place. If you guys are in a good point financially, you could do that. And after that, you'll know each other, how you operate when you're living together. And then, within that year going on, next few months is going to be crucial to see, if he's going to really seal the deal and give you a ring. Now, if it doesn't happen after the first year going on, approaching the 2-year mark, if he's not even giving you a ring or surprise you before the second year comes, obviously, you don't have to tell him when we get married. You could just end the relationship right there. Now, I know that sounds weird. That sounds foreign. And I might not get no pushback because most of y'all don't survive long up to this point to this video. But if you do, you could criticize and cuss me out in the comment section if you agree or disagree with this. Basically. But for you ladies, the best safety parameter for you, if you're going to do these long relationships, it has to be no greater than 2 years. Anytime you're going past the second year, within that first day or week, once you know it's been 2 years, and you didn't get no ring or anything close of actual proposal, a surprise proposal, a marriage, you could just pack up, walk out, and say, you know, I think it's not work. I'm just gonna leave. Now he's gonna fight you, and he's gonna get taken out, surprise, and be blown out. So what? You just end the relationship. What you gonna, baby? Come on, I said, that's over. And you say, why? No, I just matter of fact, I'll tell you ladies personally. Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. You have to explain why you end the relationship. You just end it, say, you know, I'm just gonna end it. I feel this is not really going where you're just wasting my time. Now, obviously, he might benefit because he might get some sex out of this. And I understand a lot of people say you don't hold no cards once you give the cootie cat and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, man, bunk that. People get sex if they can get it. It's a luxury now. If they can get it. That's not going to sustain nothing. It's what you do, the outcomes of the relationship that really holds it going. Now, you might give them like wifely duties on that nonsense, and that might be cool. But overall, if you're really serious and you have intentions, you want to be a wife, no matter what part in life you're, wherever age you are. And if you're dealing with any man, and he's able to keep playing fence after a whole year, going on after close to 2 years, it is your rightful duty to get up one day, or you just do, you know, you could slick and play it off. And this is how wicked it could be. One day you could always know, saying, you know, when we go on dinner again, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, right? You just lay out on him. You just get one day, eat the food or whatever, and then say, you know, it's over. It's gone. And he said, whoa, it's over. Yeah, it's over. All right. I say it's over. No explanation. And now he's gonna fight you, he's gonna hold your hand and say, what's wrong, baby? Where we gonna come? We said he's gonna try beg and all this nonsense, but obviously you have to give him no explanation. And when you do this, it's gonna be cold as hell when you just end the relationship right there. Because you want this dude to come and think, say, damn. Now, mind you, some dudes won't care. Some dudes will care. Because if you are really good and you're on your square, deal with him for as long as you deal with him from year one going on 2 years. Now, mind you, sometimes the relationship might end maybe earlier, depending on him. But let's keep real. If it's going good and he's still liking it and keeping you on the fence, after year 2, if it's approaching year 2 and there's no him surprise you with a wedding ring as the second year comes to close, you could tell right there it's over. You just end right there. So a recap, and this is a recap. First time you and him meet, you go through the natural course. You're feeling. You and him might have some conversations. Hell, you and him might date a little bit, right? And then if intercourse, sex is involved, depending on how you feel, it's natural occurrence in life. Because let's be honest, some of you ladies not virgins, so you know sex might be on the table for you. You might just initiate, or he might initiate, and you might give it to him. Who knows? But as most now, a lot of people say they should not give no woman, they should give no man sex because nothing. No, listen. We're adults here. If you are not virgins, which most Western people aren't, a lot of people losing their virginity now, and I heard rumor that people losing their virginity now at age under 10 now. One time it was teenagers, now it's less than that. Surprisingly, I didn't believe it, but I heard that was floating around. That's a lot of people losing it like that, and it kind of shocked me. That sex is gonna be given one way or rather the first day or days down the line, or even not filming and you and him don't continue. Where if he was pressuring, give it to me, that's his loss. But after that, you survive the first few months. Then you're you and him are probably in a relationship, right? You declare or he declare. Most likely, the man's going to declare you in a relationship because you're not tell us because he's gonna probably going to show more than anything else. Now, after a couple months and going on to the first year, y'all guys gonna be living with each other like any natural occurrence. This is what they call playing house, right? Now you're gonna really know each other, literally. That means you're gonna know y'all tendencies from a person. What they say? You got the toilet seat up, right? You know, like sometimes you have certain cosmetic stuff he not gonna like. You're gonna know the ins and out with each other because you're gonna deal with your habits full screen in real life when you're living with each other. Whether it's an apartment that you and him pay for, or you're living with him, or whatever case. I'm saying you live with each other. You're gonna know how you really operate with each other for the next few months. Now, in going on the first year, going on next couple of months, is going to be crucial. That how much he really wants it and wants you to be more than his girlfriend. You know by going on the first year, and it's going to lead to eventually the second year. Now, normally, if I'm right, which I could be right or could be wrong, if he's smart, he's going to make the decision one day and out the blue, going to surprise you with him going on his knee and give you a wedding ring, right? And once he gives and confirms a marriage with you within that year and a few months, you know he made the decision that he wants some more and want to take this the next step further. Now, obviously, if he doesn't come to that conclusion as you go on the first whole year and approaching the end of the next year, which is going to make now you're going to be in 2 years. If no ring comes out of that going on to the second year, is in your rightful duty, and it's your sole rightful duty, and it's your responsibility. And I'm going to look at you funny. And I look at a lot of women funny when a lot of women are beyond 2 years in a relationship with a man, and he's not even going as far as making you his husband or making you his wife. Sorry. You can get up one day out the blue or out when he doesn't expect it, and it's said it's over. End the relationship. The surprise. Don't explain why. Don't give him no explanation. You want him to start contemplating, thinking why he and why is she gone? Because he's going to accept it one way or another. He's going to try things to try to sweet you up, nice you up, and you're going to fall in your emotional feelings. And I understand, you ladies, you're women, right? But do not be fooled, ladies. This dude is going to keep you on the fence because he doesn't want to make you a wife after year 2. This will eliminate the longer relationships. Now, a lot of people said it should end in a few months. It should not go as far as the first week, 2 weeks, or 6 months. No, I say this is the perfect and only strategy that would end all the talks, that would end all the games. And I mean, it will end all the shenanigans of these so-called long-term relationships that's not going nowhere. 2 years, no greater. And this applies to any woman. If your intention or serious, you give it. Now, most people tell you that it should be a year, few months, less. That's fine. But I come with the actual solution. No greater than 2 years. Once you reach the second year, you make the decision in that first day or within any time during that week. And I said a day, much as a day and week, you give it. And then you surprise me out of the blue and say, it's over. You end the relationship. Now, the consequence of this, and hopefully if you're a smart woman, and God knows, a lot of you ladies, I'm gonna be sorry to say this, but because a lot of men are not having children like that in mass numbers, especially when we talk about Black folks, and we could say other men, because the numbers right now for men, if I double check, a lot of men are waiting. They're not having children like that because they don't want to be locked into child support, right? A lot of men are not going to be so eager to be putting babies on you, unless these dudes are not really doing nothing with their lives, pretty much, and they're just bumming up, they're living with you, and they're not really being productive. I mean, they're not working. Hell, some not even working better than mine. Hell, some not even working to maybe hopefully maybe make a little bit more money, which money is a necessity. And a lot of dudes, they're gonna find the environment's gonna be harsh and you gotta make more money. Those dudes, if you're giving your body to those dudes that are not doing that, that's not really in that direction, you really waste. This method will not work for you, because you give and waste your time with someone that really is not gonna improve himself. And he decides not to prove himself. And I'm going beyond he has a 4-year degree. I mean, in general. Because most people nowadays, some people finish school, some people don't. But a lot of people find ways to make money, be productive out here. And a lot of them got degrees. So, all right, let's keep going with the video. I'm sorry I just laid it out. That was long. And I'm probably going to note that. All right, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
It's like, I did something. He was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me. So I showed him. I said, yeah, I actually did it. You know, I don't know if you were really being serious, but you know, we're talking about being married. So I had a really bad habit of like spending money, and I was like, if I don't get the ring now, then I'm not gonna get it. So I went ahead and got it, and that put the fire under him to, I guess, maybe go and look for my ring. Well, let me rewind. So then after that, I think it was like the next day, somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw that he had updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing, and I screenshotted it and sent him the picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, so yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me, he was like, or I think he tried to call me and I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious. I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening he like ended up going and buying my ring. Yeah, he went and bought my ring. And the ring that he got me is not the ring I had now. It was a nice ring, but it wasn't nearly as big as the rock that I'm currently sporting. But when he showed it to me, in my head, I said, it's not about the ring, it's about the marriage. And I definitely think that that's something that you ladies should keep in mind, is that if a man is going to propose to you, don't make it about the ring, because that can really turn a man off and make him think that that's all that you care about, is having a big ring, when it's more important to have the marriage. And I knew that in my heart. I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything about the size of the ring. You know, it's still a nice ring. I'm going to take it and we're going to get married. So we ended up getting married the next week. Everybody was shocked. I randomly called my mom, my grandmother, hey, I'm getting married in a few days. We got married at the courthouse, because I told him I don't need a big wedding. I'd, rather spend that money elsewhere. And we had a really beautiful wedding reception in DC, at a really nice restaurant. It was gorgeous. So yeah, that is how I ended up getting married. But I think that also something that I want to let you guys know is that becoming his wife and really being the kind of woman that could just get a ring like that, work. All
right. Okay. So as she said before, that's how she hold on. Okay, that's stop. All right, that's how she eventually got her man and got the ring. That's how the story goes, And there's probably some more into this. I'm not going further than that because I want to run this other tape. But like I said, it was red flag to those that don't know. and I mean don't know, that if a man is willing to put a ring on you in less than a week and he's an older man, if the story is true, that was the next video I probably gonna run. And that's questionable in itself, very questionable. But that's the drop off story of how she met her husband, that she's alleged, saying that he did some to his own daughters, because she had 2 more kids by this man. So now, next video I'm gonna play, it's gonna hear her story in whole. All right, so let's go. Fairies.
Ladies, hi trophies. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you hear any noise in the background, that's the new baby. A lot has happened since the last time that I recorded. I think the last time you guys saw me, I was in my 2nd trimester, and yeah, I think I did post an update in the community section when the baby was born. And I said that I would be back soon, and that was a few months ago now. I thought that when I came back on here that it would be to maybe do like some kind of newborn favorites or meet my new baby or something like that, but unfortunately, it's
And before I continue on to this, y'all are aware of this particular video, right? This video was her highest gross, I think, viewership, upwards almost close to 2 point something million views. And the only video that she kept on one of her channels on her many social media platforms. And I'm always a suspect when someone does these type of contents and they got something in the millions, that they will keep up more than anything else. Even to the point where, like most people, when you're running a game or what they consider a scam, you got to have something that you have to sell to the people so they could have feelings. They could sensationalize, right? Sensationalize something where they could say, yeah, I really felt this woman, because I could once experience this, because I are very gravitate to social media in regards to sob stories or stories that involve sexual touching with the opposite sex, predominantly when it involves a man. I mean, we all know the stories when women get touch, that a lot of people say, I was this too, this is a bad person, you go to jail, all this stuff. And really true, you don't see people really seek the justice, if it's true or not. But really truly, when things like this happen, especially when the kids, and you just display it on air, I had to question it, but that's just me. All right, let's listen more to her story. Fairies.
been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband. I honestly don't even really know where to start. with this, just because it's just such a hard topic. And I honestly thought that by the time I got on here that
Oh, and for a lot of people that don't understand, before I say anything, if you guys watching, type something in the chat room so I know this is active, because I can't tell by viewership who's watching. It's better if you type it, because I want to make sure something's working here in my chat room. So if you're watching, or your first time watcher, or wherever your existing watcher, type something in chat so I know. I want to see everything's functioning on my end. If you could do that, I appreciate it. Besides the like buttons go fair if you could do that, but usually put some interaction in the chat room so I know what's going on. That's one thing I ask. And please, always, y'all know what to do. Y'all know the game. Did I say much?
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty, bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Support channel. You know the drill. All right, let's keep going. Fairies.
I wouldn't have any tears left because I've just cried so much.
So where's the tears then? One woman kind of laid out that she's not even showing an attempt of like real tears, in which I would pretty much agree. But that's just what I'm viewing. Fairies.
It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. And I really thought that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my...
Now we gotta keep in mind, as she goes to create this narrative in the story, right? Which a lot of people are finding evident, the backlash now, and finding some real holes into the story, which let's be honest. And I think maybe Shirok might have talked about it briefly. I don't know. And I definitely know she mentioned, because her name was mentioned on this, and it's going to roll back to her, the negativity of the failure of the so-called level up nonsense. And in due time, right? Oh, thank you. For those that's watching, please let me know in the chat room how you're there present, because obviously I'm doing a test here with the chat room. Besides, the likes are fine. If you could like the video, that's fine. But usually interaction in the chat room will go much for a long way. And if you have questions, you could post it here. I will answer certain questions. I prefer the super chat, depending on the nature of the question. But other than that, please let me know in the chat room right now as I'm going through this. I think she did. Shira might have did some video on this to really look at her and what she's trying to do to really push back. And the reason why I'm saying this is because other content creating women that does content on this, they're very much cautious when it comes to other women when they want to lay out their failures in regards to listen to other women or trying to lay out their problems that did not work because they listened to instructions of other female content creators that's pushing, level ups, fake femininity nonsense, right? They'll let them know and display their frustrations and things that don't move well on their own platforms, particularly more famously on TikTok than here on YouTube, unfortunately. And TikTok gets more of an eyeballs because it's more female based. Because a lot of women put a lot of garbage on TikTok. I'm be honest with you. A lot of weirdo stuff go on TikTok. A lot of people don't like what I'm saying about TikTok because I'm bashing the platform because the platform, in my opinion, you could gain some things, but really, vice versa, you don't really gain much because it's more a platform for people to lay out their business and their discomfort and their mental illness on that app that's run and controlled by Asian people. I think it's run by the Chinese. So knowing that you find a lot of weirdo stuff on TikTok, and if she put it on TikTok the way it should have been done more than on YouTube, it would have got more impressions and more of a serious message to the flaw of Shira's teaching. But unfortunately, she took down her TikTok or disabled her TikTok because she has a lot of visual stuff on TikTok that it would go much further on TikTok than YouTube. Because let's be honest, Shira is on TikTok. And last time I checked, they said she's making numbers on TikTok. So if you were going to create this lie, and it's a lie, because the story is not matching, a lot of information she put out is not really matching. Even here right now that I'm writing right now, there's questionable things. That if you're trying to push a narrative, it would better suit that you have your story on the few platforms that you're more stronger on and have a better presence that will make a mark. See, the reason why they'll do it here on YouTube, and here's a little secret that those that do not do content on YouTube pays. You don't get paid on Facebook. Hell, you don't get paid on TikTok. Don't be fooled when they say that you make some money on other platforms, but there's a criteria. And even if you meet the criteria, you're not going to make really substantial money because there is no real return on investment because advertisements don't fall friendly on other platforms, which require you to do more just to make a simple dollar. But over here, if you're monetized and let's say you have a decent video or a video you put out that might go viral or gives you a 1,000 or a few, you might make more in return than other platforms. That's why she did the video and kept it on YouTube because a lot of people think that she's gonna make a whole lot. You're gonna make some decent money, but that money is gonna be throwing money because that money is not sustainable. If you remember when the other content creators that have videos that's run to 50K, 100K, 200 to a million, they're making money. This video she did, this is the only video that garnered over 1 million views. So she's making something, but not make a whole lot. Let's keep in mind. So y'all know now. All right, let's keep going. Very serious. No, that's not her. That's not a content creator, Aaron. And I'm probably gonna open the lines in like a few minutes to have y'all say on this. So be patient, guys. Very serious.
Knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man. And I believed him. I think shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him. And I just started to see a few things that I didn't like. But I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past. It's like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive.
Oh, make sure you guys like the stream. Oh, now before she goes in and gives this revelation, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna let it run a little more before I give my revelation. Fairies.
And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Gosh. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was Daddy. I felt like my world ended on that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house. Because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie. And that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or...
All right. So now she tells you she did not want to confront the predator. Now, I have a problem with that. And here's why. I'm not sure how what normal women or mothers in the scenario when they know their own child has been touched. But last time I checked, this is just me. There's no way in God's green earth, no mother, mostly black or any racial woman, is going to sit there, find some odd happen to their child, and not ask what happened. and depending the age of the child, and most children are going to be transparent and tell you honest, because most children don't have the capability of lying. And I say don't have the capability. I'm not saying it's always true that they will lie, but normally they're going to keep it honest when they feel or they have experienced trauma. Anyway, when a person has done something to them, and which is in regards to penetration of any nature, right? And even if you're still suspicious and your children are not clear or they don't want to talk about it, then yes, the best thing you could do is you go take a child somewhere to get them checked. Now, a lot of people say she should have confront her husband there, which she should. And I'm gonna say she should confront. And to those that agree or disagree with this, I would say this: if you're a mother, you have kids, you think you're not gonna confront the one that's close to you that might have been the culprit, really? Because what he's gonna do, he might lie about it, of course. You think any person and your child said that it was someone that is closer will deny it's not them? There should be a confrontation right there. Like literally right there. Now, how you deal with this confrontation, that solely depends on you, the mother. I cannot tell you what you should or should not do, because I will say this: nature will take its course. And as far as you will understand, I'm saying. And the reason I'm saying is because, let's be honest, not every woman is going to have the capacity to do what is actually right. And let's be honest, what is right is not always going to be something that, it might be out of lines of your nature. Especially when it comes to children and sexual touching. So let's listen more to this. And then I'm going to have to put the link in the chat room. I might put it now ahead of time. So keep an eye on the chat room. And if y'all watching from the skies, put something in the chat room. Write something. Let me know you're present. Various.
Or whatever. As soon as my husband got home.
Ah! Did y'all see that? Let me, matter of fact, let's put this in the chat room. Y'all did not see that. Did y'all saw that? Did y'all saw that? Call lines open now. She fucked up right there. That was an edit. The video was edited. And y'all know, listen to me and listen well, ladies and gentlemen. If this was a real scenario, right? As a matter of fact, I'll do you one better to make sure I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Hold on. Let me do this. Instead. I'm going to take a look. Oh! Okay, I think I find a correlation. I'm finding a correlation here. Let me do this. I'm going to check something. Oh, no, let me go back. I'm smelling something fishy around here. This is what I'm about to do, guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just discovered something. And I'm going to check something on my end because something I've noticed. And let me make sure I'm right. I'm wrong. Matter of fact, I'm going to let the video continue to play as I'm going to find this. Fair use. And a call line is now put in this place. If you want to come up and voice speak, come now. Fair use.
He was actually picking up the boys from school, my two older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together.
No, you're not getting yourself together. This is an edit. If this was really real tears, if we want to go there, why are you stopping the video and pausing it and then doing something and then replaying like as a different take? Are you guys knowing this? Have y'all noticed this? If this, and let's be honest, I don't believe anything she said, and I know most people don't. And if you guys watch it, I see more people watch it. Please leave a comment in the chat room. I want to know if you're active now. I want to see some and do a test. So leave something in the comment. It could be anything. Hello, dots or whatever. Write some right now in the chat room right now. In the chat room. I'm doing conducting an experiment. So write some in the chat room now so I know this is active and is working and y'all present. If this is really the case, right? Why are you this video you done you're editing every little part? Usually if this is a serious scenario, number one, the video should never been posted. Anyway, you should never create the video. That's the one thing. And the other thing, if you're drawing your sorrows and tears, we need to see all that. You're not doing that at all. The video is stopping and say, I gotta sit to compose myself. No, that's fishy. But that's just me. I just noticed it, and I didn't know. This is my first time actually watching it, and I didn't know the video was edited. I thought it was like a full video, like a live stream or wherever it was that she put out here. And when I double checked, this is not a live video because there's no chat room. And usually when you do videos, there's always a chat room. Now, mind you, if the video was edited, you would know because the chat will be disabled. That's how it works with YouTube. Food for thought. Anyway, let's keep going. Fair use. All right, let's go.
So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there.
All right, there's a smart one right here, or a person right here, by Riza Saka. Yeah, I do video editing, and it does look edit. Also, her eyes and mannerism look like she's lying. Yes, that's body language. Thank you. And normally I would read that in the super chat, but I'm going to just pull that up right there because right there, someone spotted out. Now, Riza, and I only do this for a few people that's put some in the chat room. Keep in mind, if anybody was trying to sell, let's say, a lie. Let's go to this. Let's say we're trying to sell a lie. Wouldn't it be make it more convenient as possible? Make it as realistic as possible? Meaning, you don't have to be an actor, but you got to show some form of tears. And ways to do that, you're going to say, I'm going to try to vision myself in a very vulnerable spot, a thing that hurts me, that it makes me want to cry. Some of that nature to show that this is something that, women could sit there, believe, and say, oh my God, you poor woman, how can I help you? We need to save you. We need to protect you at all costs. You're trying to sell to millions, not thousands, millions of people. How are you going to accomplish that and we don't see no tears? Much less we question you doing this video. And this is not a live video. This is an actual video that was edited. Not once, but twice. That's my question. I know. Fair use.
So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old. It still feels like a dream. Like, when when this first happened, I just kept waking up every day and just hoping that this was a dream. Because it's literally my worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare. I myself am a product of RA.
All right, before she goes into her story of her impromptu, make sure you guys like the stream. Let me read another comment by Miss Riza Sakia. Pain and vulnerability is usually done by impromptu, but calculated actions also indicate a liar or someone who run a game. Yeah, and she ran the game pretty well. Riza. If you remember, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the brick lady, Riza. That goes into the thing with the lady that got hit with a brick in the face last year, and how a lot of women were so much enamored of the story. They see the pictures of in the hospital, see the swollenness. I'm not sure if she put some Botox in her face, wherever that is, and she sell an actual good lie, which actually worked because it fooled a lot of people. Because she created a GoFundMe. She was making upwards of a max of, I think it was over 40 grand in GoFundMe money, which other content creators spotted out and found that she was a fraud and able to get the GoFundMe down. And I'm not sure if anybody got their money back, which probably didn't. It's unfortunate, but oh well. But let you know that people are selling game, a good game, that it works to a certain demographic of a racial class of people, particularly women, or i.e., black women, because it was black women that gave Rhoda, the brick lady, all their money, because she sold that in front of her audience was predominantly mostly black. She might have other racial people in there, maybe Spanish people and stuff, but we all know who the one that throw the most of their money is, which is the sisters. And come to find out now, because Miss Isis is, she is mixed in a way, or she could be fully Latina. She is also getting the same contribution as well. And large, I mean, well, it's not large. I mean, I'm not sure how old the she had it established on her page, but she's making some money off of the gullibility of a lot of sisters, which is expected. But anyhow, let me read this. Yeah, I caught that brick lady quick. We even found the guy who did it. Yeah, and the guy didn't throw a brick. He threw a plastic bottle. He didn't actually throw a brick. That was confirmed. That was actually a lie. But no, who's keeping track? Oh, Mary, if you could change your background, you could use my avatar. I don't know if you could change it if you want. Oh, thank you. All right, I got my good friend Mary Brown up here. I'm bringing him up now. What's good, Mary?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's good, man? I'm not sure how long you've been listening or watching.
Right.
lot of things, man. This right I'm watching right now, Amiri, is an actual video that was edited. I thought it was a live stream, but when I found and looked at it closely, this was edited.
It was edited.
Yeah. So this is something that she created to sell to the demographic of women that want to follow her movement, because she, she created like a little small site and stuff teaching women how to level up and become trophy wives and stuff. And I think her audience is most predominantly black women.
That's going to be anybody who's prominent on social media, especially in a relationship dating thing. That's the black woman is going to be their audience.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are the biggest consumers of that type of content. You know what I mean? Followed up by black men. So, like if you look at Derek Jackson, if you look at Kevin Samuels, they both were catering to black women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just from two perspectives, two vantage points, but they were catering to black women. Like what she's doing. I've been hearing rumblings of maybe it's been some type of chicanery or trickery or lying going on, but we're in an age where people are so inured to be influencers. Everybody wants to be an influencer, bro.
Yeah, of course.
The number one sought after job in America is an influencer. People want to be a YouTuber or some type of influencer on social media. They will do anything for that. They'll concoct lies. Like I said, the gender war content that's been consumed on social media for the last several years, especially black social media, it's not pumping out the bullshit organically to meet the demand. Mm-hmm. So we've even went into where people are creating skits to create more supply to meet the demand needs, because that's what we want to consume. You know what I mean? Even though when we're looking at what's going on with us socioeconomically, you're talking about, look, roughly 8% of black men and are six-figure earners or higher. Of that 8%, most of those are married black men. Mm-hmm. Then you have to factor in black men who simply aren't interested in dating black women. And then you have to factor in black men who may be LGBTQ. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about actual men who are in the mating market that would be available for black, we're probably talking about 2%.
Yep. Maybe
even less than that. But I'm gonna be generous to say 2% of black men who would fit the bill. So the entire digital complex, digital complex of relationships and dating and stuff like that caters to black women. It's it's a hustle, it's a money grab, so it's, I'm not surprised if that's what's going on, you know what I mean? But at this point, what I'm learning is it's like that old adage, like they say, believe none of what you hear and very little of what you see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These people will concoct stories and make things up to get people riled up, to get that black woman audience riled up. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I'm not surprised at all. But I wouldn't know who I don't watch this stupid shit, bro. Like, I don't know who these people are. Like, even the thing with the no Fugazi guy and all that. Like, I don't watch these clowns, man. Like, I don't watch the women either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Queen Maker and all that. It's all the same shit. But the bottom line is that the reality is inconsistent with what's being pumped out. No, like, people aren't, like, we're not really, and you and I have had conversations about this. We're not uh assessing this stuff, accurately, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The chances are, odds are, for a black woman to find a high earning man who's gonna, let her be his trophy wife, on top of putting up with her bullshit. Because let's be real, a lot of sisters got bullshit with them. Can we be honest?
Yeah, we can be
You know,
honest.
and I've had to tell them that when I've done my streams. Like, look, y'all not all y'all cracked up to be. Like, y'all sitting here talking. You know what I mean? As y'all leave a lot to be desired in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just keeping it 100. You know what I mean? So you're talking about, just the odds are not in favor. You know what I mean? And then what you find is a lot of these women who are claiming to have, look, being high value, and Kevin Samuels broke this down. Being high value is more than just about making money. That's the baseline, but it's more than that. Really, what you're talking about when you're talking about being high value, we're actually this is a matter of class.
Yes.
It's a matter of class. So it's not just your net worth, it's not just your income, but it's also your network. You see what I mean? If I'm going to be moving in certain circles, bitch, do you know the difference between a salad fork and a regular fork? Do you know how to sit as a lady and cross your legs and be, Emily Post? A lot, like, you know what I mean? Like, they be sitting there talking like, and this is what gets on my nerves about the conversations coming from the brothers too, because I'm like, both of y'all talking about shit neither one of y'all qualify for. That's always been my argument. Y'all talking about stuff you're not going to do, you're not conditioned for, and you're never going to experience. But that's what they sitting there talking about all day. Yeah, it'd be funny to me, man. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't mind telling them. Like, I tell dudes all the time, y'all sitting running y'all mouth online, talking like y'all me, and you're not. Look, when you're talking about most of your high earners in society, these are men who are already married. Okay? These are men who are already married. If you look at the socioeconomic hierarchy in this country and the way it's broken down, married men sit atop the socioeconomic hierarchy. So sitting here talking about how you childless and you single, I mean, you're childless and single, that does not make you a bachelor. Because we already know what the data tells us. The data tells us that men who fit that category tend to be middle of the road earners or less. The average salary for black men in the black community is what, 43,000, and that's being generous. So we're not even having.
It's like 45 now, but
It's gonna be falling lower. It's gonna be falling lower than that.
yeah,
It's gonna be falling lower than that, man. You know what I mean? What people got to realize is that this is about these people making money. If you notice, people who come on social media and profess to be so successful, they're either going to claim to be a successful business person, even though they're not. They don't have a brick and mortar business and aren't employing anyone. The extent of their business acumen and their business success is their bullshit YouTube channel that they're running. That's their success is from you watching them. It's nothing that's tangible or quantifiable in the real world, man. And then they sit here and they're going to either claim to be that, or they're going to claim to be a goddamn psychology expert. You know what I mean? And you know what I've said, bro? I don't know if you ever seen that movie Chaos Lights with Eddie Murphy and Martin, but remember when they was at Camp 8, I think it's Camp 8, and Eddie Murphy had Ray's Boom Boom Room. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was this make believe thing where it was this make believe club he made up in his mind, and everybody got on tuxedos and they success. That's what social media is. It's Ray's Boom Boom Room. The bullshit is not real, man. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? And but and as I've said before, as people, we choose what's valuable, what you pay attention to, what you give. See, you can't sit here and tell me and go off on these tangents and these rants about the sensibilities of Black women, and you have this, like, your sensibilities are in lockstep with hers, because all y'all consume is the same bullshit. You just gonna consume it on the red pill side. But if you really listen at what they're talking about, it's the same shit. It's them wanting to have women that they don't qualify for. And not only do they not qualify for, it's unrealistic any goddamn way. It's unrealistic anyway. Because even if you're talking about like the concept of a trophy wife, we're talking about something that is reserved for the very top percent of income earners in society. It is not something that is widespread or that is experienced by majority of men to be able to have a trophy wife. But they like it, and that was something that Kevin Samuels would promote all the time. This idea that look, once upon a time in a society, you could be an old average, homely, shaped like a box woman, and you still was gonna be a kept wife, because that's just how the society was set up. You did not have to look like an Instagram model to have a man who was gonna pay the bills. You see what I'm saying? That's not the way it worked. And what I'm saying, and what I've been saying since I've been on here, is neither one of these individuals, this man or this woman, this male or this female, have the backing, the conditioning, or the economics for what they're talking about. Like, because like this is even like you hear about like the 50-50 debate. You ain't got no choice but to go 50-50. We already know that in this new burgeoning economy where AI is getting ready to uproot a lot of these jobs, you can't even, if you're like a millennial or a Gen Z and you don't own a home, chances are your Black ass never gonna own a home. But you on here talking about you want somebody who's gonna pay all the bills, and you sitting here talking about what she got to do for you to do that, when I know damn well you can't afford that. And sis, you ain't been conditioned for that. You don't have the home training nor the conditioning to have no man who gonna pay all the bills. Because when that man tell you be quiet, you know you ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
You know you ain't gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's unrealistic. And I've talked about like, even with me, I've been fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But I've said that before. You didn't make the choice I made, brother. You talking about a choice I made when I was 19. I'm 43 now. That's you behind. So you can't get what I got. Like, you got to understand timing and what's going on. So you got to take what you can get. And the same thing is true for this Black woman. The same thing is true for sisters. You got to take what you can get.
Yeah, get what you can get.
Yeah, like, you see what I'm saying? Is you're not going to be able to have things like what you're talking about. It's so rare. It's so rare, and the thing about it is it's becoming even rarer. And with the selection of Donald Trump that they celebrating, and Project 2025 about to be on their ass, like, it's going to be even more rare. It's going to be it's not about to get easier. It's about to get harder.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, man, this shit is stupid, and I'm not about to sit up here and watch no person, all day on the internet pretending to be something they're not. But the only reason why they can even sniff at what they're pretending to be is because I'm sitting here giving them super chats and watching the stupid shit they're talking about that isn't reflective of reality. And if you start looking into these people's lives, you start seeing the charade for what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
When are people gonna wake up?
In my opinion, that people want to stay in slumberland. What they call it? They want to stay in what they call those things? Dreamland, because easier. It's the best escapism known to man or man and woman. Be like, to be blunt, but Amir, any short final remarks? I should end this soon, and I want to. There's only a few more minutes left in this video, so let
Oh
me.
no, I mean, my final remarks is, things better get ready for, Project 2025. Project 2025 finna come change, a lot of stuff. And just from us being what we talk about when we on my show and stuff like that, we've been talking about Project 2025 since 2023. See, the reason why like a lot of them thinking that that's scare tactics, because you know why you think it's a scare tactic? Because you ain't over here talking, you ain't over listening to us when we talking about Project 2025 and 2023. You got your stupid ass over here listening to this trophy wife channel. Who running the con on your dumb ass? See what I'm saying? That's why you think now. Look, guys. That's why you think now when it come up in the campaign that's why you think, well, this is scare tactics. See, you choose what's valuable.
Yeah, of course.
You see what I'm saying? You choose what, and even the thing with that Project 2025 is you got to realize that's going to have implications for even what I was just talking about, the gender war digital complex, because a lot of these people are not going to have money to be funneling to these goddamn content creators like that. They're not going to have it. You're looking at social services being cut. You're looking at there's going to be a rolling back of federal jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Local governments, state governments, because a lot of the federal funding is going to be cut. It's going to be cut. Like that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, they're already talking about going line by line down the federal budget and cutting cutting things. You see what I'm saying? Like they think this is some type of, they think this is a game. So even when that happens, the gender war digital complex is going to contract because the people who've been consuming it aren't going to have the money to funnel to content creators. It's going to be a drought. That's what's going to happen. And I've been knew this was coming. It's going to be a drought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're not getting off of the YouTube revenue, it's going to be hard for you to make that up from super chats and donations of a lot of black people, because they're simply not going to have the money. Like this, one of the reasons, like if you go look at the data, if you look in 2020, black wealth actually increased. It did. Black wealth went up a little bit. You know why it went up though?
Why?
Because of COVID. Because all the money the government pumped into the system. That's why when you see black people like, man, Trump gave us stimulus, and man, I felt I was doing better 4 years ago. Yeah, you was doing better because there was all this PPP money in the system, but you ain't got that now. See what I'm saying? So like that, from that vantage point, what they're talking about of what they were feeling is correct. But what's also correct is what they're feeling now, because the economy is booming. But why don't your black ass feel it? But we know why you don't feel it. You don't feel it because you've been cut out. You've been cut out. And so because you have the goddamn silver tongue grifter and everybody, and he done concocted this whole thing with FBA, taking attention away from what Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks were talking about with ADOS, when you're talking about the fact that black people have been cut off from institutional access to wealth and capital, and he done turned it into this thing where it's tetherness, and you eat hyena meat and all this dumb shit, cracking jokes, when really he's nothing but a Republican Trump shield. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah. So
they're talking about reparations, but they don't even understand why they need reparations. They don't understand what it really means. See, it's just like the good brother Tony Maceo said. They hear words and they might understand the definition, but they don't know what it means. So if you hear something like deregulation, he hear deregulation, like Tony Maceo said, he hear deregulation, he think that mean he constipated. He doesn't understand what it means though. He doesn't understand that deregulation means he's more susceptible to predatory lending. See what I'm saying? He doesn't understand that deregulation means he's more susceptible to discriminatory practices when it comes to him getting jobs, when it comes to him getting access to business loans, anything that he would need to be successful and thrive and live this high value life that everybody's saying they want.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing now, the economy is booming now. Why don't you feel it? You don't feel it because you've been cut off.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And when there was an opportunity to address that being cut off, you opted for gender war bullshit, and you opted to listen to grifters and scammers. It's a wrap. You see what I'm saying? It's a wrap. If you won't have it by now, you ain't gonna get it. That's really what it is. If you don't look in the Black community, fam, what you're gonna see is a Black upper crust that is comprised of entertainers and athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else below that, it's going to be very few legitimate high earners in the Black community, bro. It's going to be a socioeconomic bottleneck, just like I've been saying. So if you haven't got in by now, you ain't getting in. Because and even like if you look at what's been fueling red pill, let's keep it trill. Red pill content is nothing but white male grievance politics that these Black ass dudes done picked up on, because their predicate for masculinity and what is heteronormative is this white man. Why you think so many of them glomming on the Trump? Why you think so many of them glomming on the Trump? But that's why. And that's why I always say I can understand the white manosphere. I understand why. But see, what he doesn't understand is that this white man feel like the shit you got took from him too. So he want to take that, like how they talking about getting rid of these migrants. He want to take what you got from you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
See, and this is the reason why he understands that he's not going to have his home life right if his money ain't right. You the fucking fool who want to sit here and make it like if the money ain't got to be right, if she just submit, I ain't got to be no high income earner for me to be the head of the household. They already know that don't work. They found that out in Germany, bro. That's where you get marriage counseling and all that from, because it was after World War I, and Germany was going through that rebuilding, and they was under those economic embargoes and sanctions. The men was over there sucking wind. So because they were economically destabilized, it was eroding the family. It was eroding the relationship with the woman. That's why they came up with marriage counseling. So it's going to always come down to money. You the fool who run around here acting like money is a luxury item, and this woman, you ain't got to be you ain't got to be the breadwinner, and this woman still supposed to go out there and work and help me pay bills and then submit to my dumb ass too. That ain't gonna work. Them people know it ain't gonna work. You the fool who trying to make something work that ain't gonna never work. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Like I told you, bro, that's why I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for these people, man. They deserve what they about to get, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But let me slowly wrap this up. Okay? I appreciate you coming up. You know what I'm saying? Which came a little early, but this is good enough. You know, you lay your mark, and people gonna feel this message. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. And for those that didn't come up, I feel sorry for y'all. If y'all come up, I might let you up, but you know, we'll see. Let me finish this video up. Fair use.
PE. That's how I came to be. And was also, abused as a child by a neighbor's husband. And I specifically prayed to God that my children would never, ever, ever have to go through this. And I'm just not quite sure how this happened, why this happened. I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk. Like, I don't like them sitting on people's laps. None of that. And he knows how much I cannot stand men like him. And to think like I couldn't even go to sleep in my own house and know that my children are safe. Just by me going to sleep, my children were left unprotected. So I don't know what the future of this channel is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to change the name or what. Yeah.
Well, now in regards to the alleged trauma, because she was brought up and brought forth in this world through her mom being touched, not sure if that's true or not, but okay. And then she said she'd been, I guess, touched by people, neighbor friends or whoever, right? And let's be honest, she sell it pretty well for those that don't have a clear understanding or have a keen insight or really could look at the body language and look at an edit video to really believe if this is really true. Personally, a lot of people say this could be something that we can learn from, and there's some things that can be learned. I'm telling you personally, for those that get forward to this tape, I can't learn enough from this because it don't sound right and it didn't make no sense, and there's too many holes to really piece in the puzzle to really give this a factual out. And another thing that I'm very disgusted, if this was really happen, right? Last thing you want to do is you want to be creating GoFundMes. My thing is this, and this is gonna sound effed up to a lot of people that listen to this. In my opinion, GoFundMe should only be used for people to raise money to start an actual business or for someone that is dying. It should not be used for anything else. It should not be used to get you to get by, to pay rent, to start life. That's not what the purpose the GoFundMe should be used for, in my opinion. It should be used for real tangibles that people really need, in my opinion. And right now, too many people, and that's why GoFundMe now is going and doing its thorough background checks right now. And for sake conversation, it's about goddamn time it's going through its background checks and really looking and seeing vitality of all this. Because damn sure GoFundMe, and even in line, if it's also in line with PayPal, is not going to be so linear to be having you create this to make a quick buck for whatever scenario or purposes that you're going through in life. It should be all used to, one, establish some type of business, and the other, if you have a loved one that is actually and really actually about to transition. It should not be used for anything else. It should not be used to help you get enough money to get you on your feet. It should not help you if you're experiencing things like this any money for whatever reason. No, it's not should be and should not be designed to use for that. Usually, if your children have been a victim of this, you should be doing everything possible to put this person under jail. And last time I checked, there's no such thing as man being under jail, regardless what you're seeing or hearing right now outside the internet. Don't believe it. No police report, none of this. Everything is on the low. The video itself is suspect. The page is even more suspect because all of it's gone. Including the talks about where the channel is going or rebranding. If you rebrand, you know what direction you got to take it now to keep any money going. And usually how I look at, like my good friend Mr. Brown said, focus on the victimhood and going the gender war route will probably the best route to go. And the best case you could do that is, go against the black man, unfortunately. Because they say her husband is, last time I checked, black. So why not? Black will eat it up like it's nothing. They will support the channel. They will give you the eyeballs. They will click onto the advertisers to give you the currency needed for you to make money out of that. So a lot of things are going into play for a great rebranding. Other than that, I'll hear from y'all, hear your thoughts on this. And then thank everybody for watching today's stream. Looking forward for your take on this. Leave a comment on your thoughts and opinions of this take and this actual honest review, and leave your questions. And do you believe that this is another scam that's on the rise? I remember the lady in the chat room said it best about this is giving off the Rhoda something brick lady vibes, and she could probably be right. She is actually, she's actually right. I'm sensing it, and trust me, that's what is coming off right now. So I'll leave y'all to be the judge of this. Other than that, the links to follow me are above. You can follow me on Twitter at Chaos27. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain. Join Discord service. Join my Rumble handle, CRain23. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show. Membership has perks, so please become a member of the channel now. Other than that, like the video, leave a comment. I'll be reading the comments on this one. And like always, thank y'all for viewing this video or this stream, whatever you want to call it. Until next time, the Chaos Rain. Oh, sorry. Rain.